And so I'm writing up the 400, and I have the paper on my steering wheel, and I find a pen somewhere in my book bag, and I'm writing, and I'm like, I'm hopping straight into it. Let me tell you. And like, it all came, you know, like it took me about 30 minutes to get from where I was to where I needed to be in Alpharetta. And by the time I parked my car in the Target parking lot, I was done.
AshLee, your single Soul Salvation releases this Friday at midnight on all platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Explain some of what's going through your mind as you prepare to share your sound with the world.
So I wrote this song July 28th of last year. So it took me about a year to sit down and tell myself, okay, I'm going to release this. The reason being is because when I wrote it, it's me. Like, it's my story. It's what I was going through at the time.
Right.
So when I wrote it, I was like, nobody want to hear this. You know, like, nobody want to know what I was going through in rap form. But I sent it to a few people, and they're just like, actually, this is dope. And I'm like, you think so? And they're like, yeah, you need to go in the studio and record this. So I went in the studio and I recorded it, and it really, when I actually wrote it, it only took me, I would say, about 10-15 minutes, just because it's my story, and that's how anything that I've written, it has only taken me between, 10 to 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whether or not I have writer's block or something, because it's just my story. Mm-hmm. It's easy to write about yourself. And so, yeah, it was going through my head. I wouldn't say I'm really nervous, but
Right.
It's the real me. A lot of people don't really know me, or they know me from what I put out, which is barely anything, And when I say what I put out, I mean like in terms of social media. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like this is a chance for people to get to know me.
So you touched on people that actually know you. Mm-hmm. So let's get into that just a little bit. People that know you also know that your rap name mm-hmm. and your actual name aren't spelled the same.
Yep.
What's the significance behind the change in spelling?
So my sister's name is Ava Vaughn, and I was always kind of jealous because I'm like, Ava Vaughn flows so good together. And
that is nice.
My middle name is Leanne, so I'm like, AshLee Leanne. But I feel like it's too long, and, I wasn't really rocking with it for an artist name. So I found a way to combine the two, but still make it my name, which is AshLee.
Right.
So I combined the two, ASH, capital LEE, which is the beginning of Leanne, but also AshLee if you put it together.
Okay, that's pretty dope. Okay, let's switch it up and talk about your creative procedure a mm-hmm. little bit. What kind of steps do you normally take to get into the right state of mind?
So when it comes to writing, I wouldn't say I'm unorthodox, but I wouldn't compare it to anybody else I've seen who sits down and write, and that's simply because there are some days where I could wake up and I'm just like, damn, this is real heavy on my mind right now. Let me write it out so it's off my brain. And there are some days, and I remember this one day in particular when I wrote a cover to a song that I actually just put out just now called Respect the Game. Mm-hmm. And it was like November of, I think it was 2018. And I'm riding back from campus to Alpharetta because I lived off campus. And I'm listening to, I normally just listen to instrumentals all the time. And so the Respect the Game instrumental comes on. And I'm like, okay, I like this. And so I reach into my book bag on the passenger seat, and I put the piece of paper on my steering wheel.
Okay.
And I think, I had my phone playing the instrumental, so I couldn't put on my voice recording, which I normally do. Mm-hmm. And so I'm riding up the 400, and I have the paper on my steering wheel, and I find a pen somewhere in my book bag, and I'm writing, and I'm like, I'm hopping straight into it. Let me tell you. And like, it all came, It took me about 30 minutes to get from where I was to where I needed to be in Alpharetta. And by the time I parked my car in the Target parking lot, I was done. And I sat to myself like, one, how did you even make it up the highway, right? And driving at the same time. But yeah, like some days could be like that where it just comes to me and I need to write it down. Or some days it's like, okay, may have the chorus, but I need to come back another day and, figure out the second verse.
I feel it. So you were talking about how you were going through certain things, right? Okay, so you say that you had to overcome some trauma in your past.
Yeah.
So would you say that music continues to be a fundamental part of your healing process?
Yes, I would say it would. And specifically last summer, I was in Boston working, and I was by myself, going through some stuff. And the song that was getting me through was Gotta Find Peace of Mind by Lauryn Hill. And I kept singing it, and I kept listening to it every day I woke up. And I was like, I gotta find peace of mind. No matter how I do it, I'm gonna do it. Right. That's the only way I'm gonna keep myself sane. And even when I wouldn't necessarily say I'm not, because I mean you're always going through something, whether you know it or you don't. But some things you may go through some things you may go through may not be as tough as something you may go through 3 years down the line.
Right.
But no matter if I'm like going through something small or something large, music is always there to guide me. And it's just a form, it's a way for me to get my feelings out or get my point across without even having to talk. And I will say, I think it's very important when I feel special when people send me like songs randomly, because I'm just like, well, I get to know you without you telling me about yourself. And I feel like a person's playlist can tell you so much about them. It's just something that I've always loved to do, whether listen to it, sing. I just started rapping my sophomore year of high school, but I didn't really take it, to where I knew I could take it. But yeah, I just feel like it's an outlet for me, because I never really liked to journal, or I didn't really see how journaling could benefit me. But if you really sit down and look at it, me writing a song is me journaling.
True.
So yeah, music has helped me through a lot.
Definitely, I love that. Right. Well, you're certainly on the right path, because 2020 is the year of vision. But little do people know it is also the year for personal growth.
Yep.
So with that being said, is there any advice that you could give to your fans to inspire them to keep up their own progress?
To always put yourself first and to follow your path. And when I say follow your path, some people may not know what their purpose is in life yet, you're going to get there. For me, I can't really say how I knew music was my thing, but I think I really took it into consideration, like maybe I should keep putting out singing videos, maybe I should keep writing, because one day I think I recorded myself singing Gotta Find Peace of Mind by Lauryn Hill, and I sent it to my grandmother, and she was like, your voice is a healer. And I'm like, nobody has ever told me that before, but I always thought my purpose on this earth was to heal others. And it just so happens that it's in a music form.
Right.
So I would just say follow your path. And there have been many times where I'm like, I'm going to school for actuarial science. Why am I doing music for? A typical actuary is sitting behind their desk, working for an insurance company, being an actuary. I'm here, trying to do music too. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not meant to do music. But it always keeps coming back up. I may have a friend who just, have their own studio now. Or I may have a friend who was a stylist for music videos. Or all these connections. And I'm like, this is not a coincidence. Like, these people are being placed in my life because God is trying to tell me, like, you keep running away from your calling and your purpose, but this is where you need to be.
Right, all in divine timing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, people already know that your single comes out this Friday at midnight on all platforms, but where can newcomers go to your profile to actually find out a little bit more of who you are?
You can follow me on Instagram at AshLee Music _ so that's ASHLEE Music _ I'm on SoundCloud, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Google Play,
Okay.
Amazon, all of that. I mean, you probably won't find me now until my single is put out, being that this is my first single.
Right.
But yeah, I'm AshLee on all platforms, capital ASH, capital LEE.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. AshLee, thank you for stopping by, and we look forward to hearing your unique sound on Friday at midnight.
Thank you.
All right.